Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Holly if you're new, and today we're talking about how to make uphill running feel easier. If you're somebody that avoids hills altogether, you only pick flat courses for your races, it's because you haven't found a good mode for running uphill, something that feels comfortable and sustainable. I'm going to go through that form, that technique today, because it's actually quite different from running flat. And when we use this technique, all of a sudden the heart rate comes down, we can breathe, we can just kind of get back in the zone of how we like to run. We don't have to think about it too hard. Let's take this one step at a time. As always, I will do a part 2 if we need it. Let me first pitch to you guys the benefits of hill running, even if you live somewhere flat and never plan to race a course with any incline in it. Even once a week, hill training can massively change your flat running. You automatically tend to get faster because the force and power required to get you up the hill gives you that speed on the flat, because of course we're removing the obstacle and now we can really pick up the speed without feeling so overexerted. When we go over the technique today, you're also going to realize if I can go up a hill in a way that feels like I'm in control of when I stop, you get confidence in all of your running and you bring that to the flat, and of course you can last for longer at that higher speed. Talk about PRs, guys. It really comes from knowing courses well. Even the tiniest bits of inclines. Good example, New York City Marathon, actually quite hilly towards the end, those bridges. What if you didn't have to stop or slow down or get into a mental dark place when you hit those hills? When we do that hill training, we are just faced with a little bit different of an obstacle that we don't always find in the flats, and we are forced to get into a good position much sooner. When we're on the flats, we can kind of round over, get lazy, get sloppy, and do a shuffle. That doesn't necessarily have repercussions early on. When we go uphill, we have to do it well. Otherwise, we really can't get up it. So hopefully by the end of today, you guys understand that getting those hills in once a week makes you stronger, faster, and less susceptible to injury because you are getting stronger by having to go against that resistance. Think of it as adding weight each week to your back squat, your deadlift, etc. That's what that hill training does. Hopefully you guys will be able to tell this is an incline. I will be showing you what it looks like going uphill, but I'll also include B-roll footage of up close of my feet going up a steeper pavement hill. It will make this all more obvious. Currently, what you probably do going up a hill when you're running is try to make it end as soon as possible. So you're taking up as much space as possible with each step. Get this hill over with. We'll deal with the consequences at the top. So a lot of us, I'm going to exaggerate, but we are trying to push off and get up this thing. And what a lot of us like to do as we immediately fatigue is lean over towards the ground. So we are pushing, we're leaning, we're praying, honestly. And pretty much immediately, if you're on a steepish hill, you immediately start to feel that heart rate spike, out of breath pretty soon. And if I were to tell you, gun to your head, we have to do this for 5 more minutes, most of you would just drop on the ground, including myself. I would never, ever try to run up a hill this way. What we need to do instead is bring it all in, get our weight back, and again, use our big muscles, which you remember from our flat running technique. I want to go deeper with this comparison of hill running to weight training. It is very similar because going up a hill is like adding weight against your body in the run. It is not the same thing as flat running. Just like if I have to do 20 air squats, I can bang those out no problem, even do a really bad form and get away with it. I don't really have consequences. But if I have to lift 200 pounds on my back, everything matters more. I have to get my body tight and in order. I have to breathe right. I have to have my abs engaged, pressure around my spine, really get it locked in so that from down to up, I am not going to collapse under the weight, especially if I have to do more than 1 rep. It's an entirely different exercise. Think of hill running this way as well. The same way that we can't do our 200-pound squat, the same way we do our body weight squat, we cannot run up the hill how we run on flat. And when I showed you guys that first demo of the big steps hunched over, that's your best attempt at just translating your normal flat running to a hill. They are not the same activity. And that's why today I'm going to show you how to beat the resistance by making each individual step easier on its own. We combine those steps to make you able to run for longer without that overexertion. So instead of that long stride, we're going to bring it in here and find, of course, our mini number 4. You guys know this one well. Replacing our feet, focusing first on kissing each heel to the ground. When you run hills right now, it's probably very likely that you're up on the toes, again, trying to prance up the hill. Any drop of the heel feels like more work. It's actually less work once your weight is back. We need to kiss those heels to the ground to turn those calves off, give a little relief. Otherwise, we're going up against a lot of calf issues, Achilles tendonitis potentially. We don't want any of that. So we find that mini number 4, kissing our heels. Hips are under us, shoulders are back. We know this technique well. From here, we really focus on our horizon line. Chin stays neutral, That's what keeps us in the right position going up a hill. A lot of us look too far up the hill or down at our feet because we're suffering, and I get it, but we have to keep it neutral because against that incline, as long as we stay there, our hips are always driving us forward, giving us that power. What we're attempting to do is create our own little staircase up the hill. A staircase feels much more approachable than pushing against the resistance of a hill in a big sprint, right? We're going to bring it back so that we are in control of where our body weight is. We're in one strong piece, the same way we are under the 200-pound squat, and we take that gradually up the hill. More steps, quick steps, not going as far with each one, but we can last in that mode much longer. And if you do the math on how long it takes you to get up the hill in a big step with a bunch of breaks versus this way and you don't have to take stops, my guess is you would actually do this version faster. We're not really talking about speed, but just so you know. So I find this, chin is neutral, elbows are just as they always are. And as I go up the hill, I am just thinking about the hips pushing me forward, lifting my knees. Just enough of a lift to clear the next step. So I'm here, and I'm easy, and I'm running. One piece that matters a lot more on the hill than it does on the flat is you do need a good bend at the ankle to get the weight coming forward but keeping the hips with you. This is how we actually resist that hill, that incline. So I do need that lean from the ankles to fall forward, but I'm matched with the incline right away, so it's not going to feel like the fall that we practiced on the flats. I want to get ahead of some feedback I'll probably get once you guys start trying this technique, because with any change is going to come new type of discomfort. But trust me that in the long run, this is way more manageable of a discomfort than what you were doing previously. When we were leaning over, reaching out, big steps, what we were likely trying to do is take load off our quads, because the main thing we feel that gives us that annoying discomfort on the hill is our quads. They're burning. With this new way, shorter, neutral chin, bending from the ankle, but hips are with us, and these quick steps, like I said, we land for less time. We have our hips under us, so we get a lot more power from that. We don't need our quads as much, but they are, of course, still involved. So leaning back a little bit against the hill, your first instinct might be, whoa, my quads, I can really feel them. Not in the same way I could before because you're not having as much to resist because you're under yourself, but it is going to hurt a little bit. It is. The nice thing, though, is as I get used to this technique of going up and my little staircase, the heart rate doesn't spike as much, meaning I can get ahead of my breathing sooner. And what happens when we increase the deep breaths? Less burning to the legs. We get more oxygen, that aerobic, anaerobic line. We kind of bleed that together and find a way to make this sustainable so where it doesn't feel like a sprint. So hopefully that's making sense, guys. But yes, it's harder than flat running, but it's more sustainable than we give it credit for. So while the quads are burning, remember that we can catch our breath, big inhale, fill it up, and that air immediately goes to helping offset that burn in the legs. And we can make this last in a new level of discomfort that eventually we get used to. We don't even think about it. The same way when you get faster, you get adapted to that new speed, and it's not always feeling that hard compared to your slow. So one more time, I'm just going to show you again. We're not doing this, right? We are upright relative to the hill. Little steps, kissing my heels to the ground, that midfoot pickup like you're picking gum off your shoe. Easy up here. Hips drive us forward, and we lean from the ankle into the incline, just like this. Your butt is helping you. Your hips are helping you. You should feel the butt. It should be tired after this. Quads are burning. They're helping. But everything together was made to do this. It's burning, but it is the strongest for the job. Just like in any other sport, any other way that you physically exert yourself, your threshold for suffering is totally relative to how you train week to week. The more range you have, the more ways you test yourself. It's not that your sport gets easier, you get stronger. We've heard that a million times. But getting up this hill is not going to stay hard for long. If you are consistent and work it into your routine regularly, like I said, you're flat running. All of a sudden we level it up. Everything has more range. And I really, really notice this in races. Even if you're not in a very hilly course, but there is a little bit of, bridge, like I said, kind of dips here and there, you have a lot more option in your running to adjust to the course. And that's where you shave those seconds off, those minutes off. People think that it's just running out of gas later in the race. It's really not that. It's about you knowing yourself better as a runner. And that really comes from adding range to your workouts. And that's why I really, really want you guys to include hills, even if you only ever plan to race flat. So the obvious next question, how do we work this hill training in? What do these workouts look like? Should they be the same every week? Should they be different? I want you guys to practice sprinting up your hills for shorter periods and those longer, slower jogs so that we really build the endurance there as well. Having both in your toolbox will be immensely helpful. I'm going to show you both techniques. They're quite similar, but there's a little bit something different that I do for the faster. I showed you a million times. I'm showing you the slow one again. We find that nice, easy foot replacement, easy through the ankles, lean, and gaze. We're feeling a lot of that impact in the butt, in the quads. We're doing it slow enough that we can kind of catch that breath. Even though the heart rate is elevated, we can keep chugging along up that little staircase. For faster, what I'm going to have you guys do is expand your footstep a little bit more because we're going to use more power from the arms and the hips to drive. So I trust that my hips will still always land over my foot. The reason I didn't like that initial stepping is because your hips never make it to your foot. So we're not going that far out, but we're going to reach a little bit, still a midfoot landing. Looks like this. If I'm going a little, I'm not going to do a full out sprint, but I'm just going to show you. If I'm going a little bit more intentionally faster, I'm still replacing my feet. I've got my hips with me, a little bit more of a knee drive, nice and springy off the feet, heels always still kiss the ground. I am also adding more of an elbow drive back to assist my hips in pushing me forward. Let me show you that one more time. I'll just kind of start in place, and then I'm going to go and pick it up like this. I am exaggerating quite a bit, but I want you guys to see the difference. Both should be in your repertoire. And if you're looking for workouts, guys, in my Patreon, I have quite a few follow along hill workouts there actually. So if you want to just hit play and do it with me, $5 a month. Otherwise, make sure you're doing fast, 30-second all outs, slow, 1 minute to 90 seconds, kind of build on that. I like to alternate those in the same workout, but you can also break up pyramid style, whatever you want. One final challenge I have for you guys is to really test week to week your ability to endure on that incline. I like to use distance for this. Start on week 1 with 3 rounds maybe of a quarter mile. Try to run on that incline for a quarter mile. Use the technique, slow the breathing down. Even if you are just shuffling, try to see if you can last. Take as long as you need between those reps, 3 times. Week 2 or week 3, maybe you need 2 weeks between the jumps, we go to a half mile. Can we try to last for a half mile on the incline? Then we'd work to 3/4 and then eventually try to run a mile on an incline. You will not feel stronger than that feeling. It is amazing, and it really makes you think, if I can do a mile uphill, what else can I do? You have a very special tool in the toolbox that very few people work hard enough on to have. I mean, these freaks like Courtney Dauwalter who can just cruise up a mountain, she has that tool and you can build it. This is how it starts. We have to find a way to last up the hill. I also meant to mention earlier that we're looking for a hill that's 5 to 8% grade. That's a really sweet spot for what I call a runnable hill. Treadmill, it's very easy. You just set the incline at that. But if you're outside, I really love the Coros for this. It shows you the grade of the hill in real time, which is awesome. You can kind of just drive around or find something you think might be it, but it's pretty easy to gauge as well. If you only have a really steep incline, really steep hill, and you're not at the place where you can run up it yet, get those power hikes in. Lift those knees, drive the hips forward, big elbows. Do what you can to start to lay that groundwork against the resistance. Let's fight the resistance, you guys. I love you so much. I hope this helped you in some way. Hills I'm passionate about them because there's a way that we can get up them. I didn't think there was, but once I taught myself or learned how or watched someone's videos, I now feel really empowered to tackle any type of terrain, and my cardio has gotten so much better. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Love you guys. Bye.